for watching Numbskull News, and today we're talking about week 3. We're talking about upsets. We're talking about the ramifications for the Big 12 and a few others. I'm going to go through all the upsets in college football, at least all the big ones, the ones that matter to me, and also how some of that stuff affects the Big 12 and their CFP odds of getting more than one team in. And I'm saying right now, there's a pathway. But before we get there, let's get to some of these upsets, and we're going to start with the Big 12. Let's start with Colorado versus Houston. Holy crap. There's a lot of folks out there that were really high on Houston coming into the season. Not as far as getting to a conference title game, but as far as making a step forward, getting to a bowl game, looking like an actual quality team. And damn, they did just that. All right. Mr. Weigman, the dude plays with some nuts. The guy's got cojones, if you will. The dude's throwing a good ball. He's running. He's just crashing into people. He looks good. This team, the defense looks good. All right. This is a little bit of a scary team. You can't just sleep on Houston. You can't chalk that up as a win most weeks anymore. Oh no, they're going to fight the hell out of you, whether it's at home, on the road, whatever. And Colorado, let me just say this about Colorado. I like Coach Prime. I know he's polarizing. A lot of people don't like him, but he's good for the Big 12, brings in interest and ratings and all that kind of stuff. He's turned around Colorado. But I think he really screwed up. After 1 week, he decided quarterback change, or actually a quarterback competition with their second game. And then he goes with Staub, who I think was his third quarterback 3 coming into the season. And Staub, a little bit of deer in headlights. He made some nice throws and he made some big mistakes. Kind of what you expect from a guy like that coming up on the road. Albeit against Houston, but what happened? Houston smashed you. Maybe not a complete smashing. No, that's a little too far, but they did beat you, and they had the capability of beating you, especially with a guy with not a lot of experience, and he wasn't highly recruited. I think he's got some skill. I think he can get better, but after one game, you're going to pull your quarterback, make a move. I don't like that. I think it was a real screw-up by Dion, and it cost him in this game. If you still thought Kansas State had a shot in the Big 12, they don't now. Arizona took them out. They were all over Avery Johnson. All right, the whole flies on shit kind of thing. That damn defense was going around. And at the end of the game, every time Kansas State in the fourth quarter was trying to do something, hell no. That defense just shut it the hell down. They ended that game, and they ended Kansas State's season. Holy shit. And like a lot of people, I'm sure, you kind of forgot about Noah Fafita. And that dude's out there looking like Joe Montana. He's just killing people. He's looking great with his arm, with his legs. Arizona. Brett Brennan. People were saying that was a bad hire before he coached one damn game for Arizona. All last year, calls for him firing after one season. I know it was a bad season, but you just lost a big-time coach to Washington. Last 2 seasons, you got staff leaving. You got players leaving. Fafita stayed. Let's, credit Brennan for a little bit of that. Why don't we? So Arizona 3-0, Houston 3-0. Are they real threats? Are they legit threats in the Big 12 to get to a title game? Oh, I don't know. But Arizona, did anyone think Arizona was going to make a bowl game? They only need 3 more wins for that. Just keep that in mind. Look, I'm proud of these guys. All right, you can't shit on them this year. Kiss their ass. All right, let's move on over to the ACC. Georgia Tech, the king of the ACC. Why? Because they got Haynes King and they just kicked Clemson's ass. That's why. Now, look, I got people, subscribers, people that watch my shit that are Clemson fans, great people. I don't mean to shit on you. I don't think it's your year. Now, LSU's not a bad loss. Georgia Tech, most years would be a severely bad loss. This year, probably not as bad. But how many more losses can you sustain? You're kind of done. You kind of have to run the table. So let's go through that schedule. How likely is it? You got Syracuse at home. That's probably a win. You go on the road to UNC. You could probably get that one. On the road to Boston College, not that worried. SMU comes to town. You're a little, that freaks you out a little bit. Although I don't know if SMU, we'll have to wait and see on SMU. Let's see how they handle TCU. Duke comes to town after that. You should be able to get that game, but Duke's a little better recently. We'll see what they are then. It's not an instant win. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Florida State comes to town after that. That's scary, November 8th. You got Clemson then goes on the road to Louisville. That could be trouble. That's a little scary. Furman comes to Clemson. Yeah, that's a win. Then Clemson goes to South Carolina. And that could be very easily a loss. I'm just, Now, we're going to talk about South Carolina here in a minute. You may just get lucky this year, Clemson, as far as running the table. But this FSU, SMU, Louisville, even Duke is a little scary. Yeah, I'm going to call it right now. I think Clemson's done. And that's stunning. All right, I had them in the ACC title game, but the only reason I did is because people like Joe Klatt thought, Clemson favorite for the win the title this year. Look, I went with the experts. The experts were wrong. Now, maybe they run the table, get into the playoff, and do exactly what everyone thought they were going to do this year. The odds of that just got really small. That's all I'm saying. But since we were talking about South Carolina, let's go to the SEC. South Carolina. They don't just lose to Vanderbilt. They get wiped out. They get their ass whooped by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt ends that game on 2 or 3 consecutive interceptions, fumbles. And I'm not just any kind of fumble, just knocking the shit out of somebody and getting a fumble. Vanderbilt. That shit looked like Georgia. It looked like Alabama from a few years ago. Holy shit, Vanderbilt. And it's hilarious. I didn't watch the game. I just watched the highlights of the game, right? And here the play-by-play people who try to keep it down the middle, right? No biases, but you could tell first half they didn't really expect anything. They fully expected, fully expected South Carolina to win, even if they got down a little bit early. It's not what they're trying to do. That's just what they're used to seeing week after week. Oh, here's Vanderbilt. They're going to give some try hard for the first quarter, maybe first half, and then that's going to go away. But it didn't. All of a sudden, in the third quarter, it's 21-7. And then the play-by-play was like, whoa, this is dangerous for South Carolina. Apparently, because they lost 31-7. They got their ass handed to them. Now, is South Carolina done? Probably. If Vanderbilt's going to tear you a new ass, there's some other teams in the SEC that'll have their way with you as well. South Carolina, they just missed the playoff last year. We're going to go ahead and call it done for them too. They're not making the playoff. They're not that team. Does Vanderbilt have a shot? I'll tell you what, they could get to a bowl game. They could be I think they were 6-6 last year. They could do better than that. They can do better than that. And that, my friends, I did not see coming. Now, just really quickly, I want to cover Alabama versus Wisconsin. Not an upset. Not really an upset that Alabama wins. They haven't lost at home to an unranked team. I believe what I heard was 2008. So, yeah, not an upset. But it's a reminder, albeit this is a mid-tier Big Ten team, but it's still a Big Ten team with a lot of money, a lot of resources, and they recruit pretty well. Haven't found the coach yet. I don't care what anyone says. They haven't found that coach yet. Neither has Nebraska. But I'll stick with Wisconsin for just a minute. They're a storied program. Not a bunch of championships, but they've had good years in the past. This is a serious program. And they seriously got their ass whooped by Alabama, which tells me that Alabama, everyone wants to write them off. Don't do that. Don't do that to Alabama. Not just yet. I'm not an Alabama fan. I would love to see them crater. This is not a cratering team. Now, I don't know how good they really are. We'll see that as far as this year goes. I know they still have a good coach. Is he Nick Saban? No, nobody is. But he's still pretty good. So this is a team that's still scary. They're still scary. And you better watch the hell out for Alabama. Don't write them off. Let them catch a couple more losses. Then you can write them off. I wouldn't do it yet. And now let's get to Notre Dame versus Texas A&M, because this really does have some implications for the Big 12 postseason possible future stuff. Notre Dame drops their second game in a row. They're 0-2. They should have beaten A&M. They let that shit go. That was the game. That's what happened. And compile that with a loss to Miami. And let's just look. Look, I got the rest of their schedule here. All right. It's not murderer's row or anything, but Purdue at home. They got to go on the road to Arkansas. Arkansas you're gonna get the best Arkansas. At home against Boise State. I don't know if Boise State's the same team that you once were. NC State at home. NC State's a pretty good team. That's a dangerous game. USC looks better than anyone thought they were going to be. They got them at home, but that's still dangerous. Boston College on the road. Navy at home. Pitt on the road. No, not really worried about Pitt either. Syracuse at home. You never know. And then you got Stanford on the road. They got a couple of dangerous teams but can they run this table? Yes, they can. Can they catch another loss? They absolutely can. USC can get them. USC can get them. Y'all, NC State can get them. So, and those are the two most dangerous teams. But outside of that, there's not... for all this talk about a crap schedule that Notre Dame has, they still got some quality opponents left. Not many. If they run the table, they're probably in the playoffs, but it looks to me like they could catch a loss. And if they do, they're out of the playoff. I can't see a 9-3 Notre Dame getting in. All right, and then you can pile that with Clemson, who has already 2 losses, and I think they're out of it. I think they're going to catch another loss, whether that's Florida State or whomever, South Carolina, whomever. I think they're done. And that cracks the door just a tad little bit for the Big 12 to get more than one team in. Now, if we go and look at the Big 12, I got a list here. Well, Iowa State, undefeated. That looks good. That looks really nice. Baylor, 1 loss. I don't know. I don't know about that defense. TCU, undefeated. Feels good. Texas Tech, undefeated. Utah, undefeated, but they do play each other. But still makes me feel good. BYU, very young quarterback, but undefeated. Let's see. Arizona State they caught that 1 loss, but they can come back. Houston's undefeated. Arizona's undefeated. I don't. I'm not going to count on those guys for anything just yet. And West Virginia's got 1 loss, but if they get to a bowl game, holy shit. Okay, give Rich Rod a raise after less than a year if they make a freaking bowl game out of that. UCF is undefeated. That record will change. So the Big 12 has, I believe, a couple of teams in there that could be CFP worthy. If someone could snatch Notre Dame one more time, snatch Clemson one more time, It's still going to be difficult because the ACC still has Miami that's kicking ass, still has FSU that's kicking ass. If NC State takes out Notre Dame, all of a sudden they're in the playoff picture. You see what I'm saying? So Cal's undefeated, but kind of like Houston, kind of like Arizona, I'm not that worried about them. Georgia Tech, that's something to worry about. As I said, with them beating Colorado, them beating Clemson. Think about Georgia Tech's ratings. Did you know the last 3 years, on average, they have the 4th best ratings in the ACC? I can guarantee you that Colorado game had big monster ratings. I can guarantee you Clemson had big monster ratings with Georgia Tech. They still have Georgia yet to play. Damn, I don't know, realignment. People might be looking a little differently at them if this shit continues. But as far as the Big 12 getting in, there's still an ACC hump because ACC still has bigger brands than the Big 12, especially with Miami, FSU, and Clemson. And right now, 2 of those are undefeated with really nice wins. So if they can keep it up, they'll both get into the playoff. And especially with Miami this year, I don't know how many games they're actually going to lose. They're looking really good. So it's not a big pathway for the Big 12 to get to. But you're starting to see there's some teams that are falling off. So there's some hope. There's a little hope, little hopey hope for us. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap, and I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.